Alrighty, YouTube Niner Empire, what is going down? Welcome back to another video. The 49ers are officially done. The 2024 season is a complete wash. Too many injuries, too much bad coaching, and the 49ers season is pretty much over before it even started. Super Bowl hangover at its finest is what I have witnessed for the last 14 weeks. Terrible play calling. Kyle Shanahan being outcoached in almost every game that we've ever played this year. And again, injury after injury is literally, if I could sum up the Kyle Shanahan era with the 49ers in a few words, I guess, it would be underperforming and outcoached and injuries. I don't know. Should Kyle Shanahan be on the hot seat? I absolutely think he should. There's a standard in San Francisco with the football team, and that is to win Super Bowls. And Kyle Shanahan, in the 8 years that he's been here, has had one of the greatest rosters in the last decade, probably in the last 20 years, one of the best rosters ever. And seemingly got outcoached by Andy Reid twice. Last year was the absolute best roster that the 49ers have probably had since the 2012 team. Honestly, last year's team may have even been better than the 20. I don't know. Either way, you guys get what I'm saying. We had one of the greatest rosters ever last year. And what happened? He goes up 10 points, and it's Andy Reid that outcoaches him with a much less talented Chiefs team last year, and beats Kyle Shanahan to win their second Super Bowl in a row. 49ers much better than that Chiefs team last year, and they lost. So their Super Bowl window is officially closed. This team's going to look a lot different next year. I don't think Deebo Samuel will be around much longer. This year could absolutely be his last year. He's seemingly on the decline. The 49ers really haven't been able to get him the ball. Kyle Juszczyk, likely his last year. The only good news for the 49ers is that they have their core intact still. Christian McCaffrey, which is Christian McCaffrey this season is really kind of alarming how many injuries that he's gone through. I mean, last night, PCL injury, he's likely done for the year. Good thing it wasn't an Achilles, because I definitely think an Achilles injury is much severe than a PCL injury. And you probably also you definitely have a much longer recovery time with an Achilles injury. So that's the good thing, that it wasn't, an Achilles injury that he suffered. But either way, this team it's year after year for 49er fans, like heartbreak. Being a 49ers fan is tough. You lose Super Bowls. Your team's always injured. Like it's always one thing after another with this team. This season is literally 2020 all over again, when we went 6-10 and almost every star player on our team was hurt. It's literally a nightmare of a season, and it can't get over sooner enough. They have 4 games left. They're probably going to win 2 more games at best, in my opinion, especially after the McCaffrey news. And it sucks too, man, because McCaffrey was really playing like his old self, like last season type McCaffrey before he got hurt. Again, I'm just glad that it's not as severe as what I initially thought it was. I thought he blew his Achilles out when it first happened, so thank God that didn't happen. But yeah, man, the 49ers are done, and it sucks, but that's the reality of it. You only have so many years to win the Super Bowl, and the 49ers had a 4 or 5 year run where they were very, very good. They just, again, were being held back by coaching, in my opinion. Now, obviously, it's not all on Kyle Shanahan, but at some point in time, man, he's got to look himself in the mirror. He's absolutely underperformed during his time here as a head coach. He has not won a Super Bowl. And Yeah, he's won big games. He absolutely has won big games, but he hasn't won the biggest game, and that's the Super Bowl. Um, so again, yeah, man, like last night, just a shit show of a game. Brock Purdy played awful. Seems like he's still playing hurt. Christian McCaffrey, obviously, he gets hurt before or following. I thought Christian McCaffrey was playing very well before he got hurt. Um, Dropped passes. I don't know why George Kittle wasn't involved anymore after he caught one catch. That was alarming. I think Kittle said he ran like 6 more routes after that first catch and was pretty much blocking the rest of the way or not running routes. So yeah, that's about the worst 49ers loss that I've seen in a very, very long time. Probably in like the last 5 years. Maybe sooner, I don't know. Terrible though. I mean, yeah, we don't have a lot of our star players. We don't have Ayuk and Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga and Trent Williams, and we don't have a lot of our guys, right? But it's tough, man. I mean, the 49ers, even without some of these guys, should still be playing like a good football team. They should still be making games competitive, and that's just not happening. And I think a lot of that has to do with the coaching staff. So I don't know, man, where the 49ers go from here, finish out the season, rest Christian McCaffrey. I don't give a shit if Christian McCaffrey can come back after 2 or 3 weeks. Don't play him the rest of the year. There's no point to play him. If I was the Niners, I would also probably bench Fred Warner the rest of the year. The dude's playing on a broken ankle, and he's basically just playing to play pretty like the 49ers aren't playing for anything this season. They're not going to be a playoff team. Even if they get into the playoffs, they're not winning a Super Bowl. Even if they got into the playoffs as well, they probably wouldn't even win a playoff game. This team's awful. This is like the rock bottom of the Kyle Shanahan era, in my opinion. And I say that because players are getting older. George Kittle, Trent Williams, Christian McCaffrey's getting up there. Yeah, some of these guys are still young. Fred Warner's going to be getting up there. It just sucks knowing that the Niners will never have a better team, and probably in the Kyle Shanahan era than they had last year. And again, last year was their chance to win it, and they didn't. So I don't know, man. Terrible loss last night. I mean, bad football on all sides. Defense was terrible. Run defense was awful. Offense, terrible. I thought they ran the ball pretty well, but they couldn't get anything going in the passing game. I don't know, just a bad game overall. I'm so ready for the season to be over. And, we'll see what happens in the future with this team. I think the Yorks need to consider everything, though. I think Kyle Shanahan should be considered to get fired. I'm not saying that he absolutely should be fired, but I definitely am open to that idea. Sometimes a fresh voice in the locker room and a new regime is nice. I don't have any confidence whatsoever that the 49ers will win a Super Bowl under Kyle Shanahan and this staff. So I am absolutely open to the idea of a new regime and this and that, but I don't know, man. It just depends. Like, there's not a lot of good head coach candidates out there, but I definitely think that the Yorks need to, go over everything. They need to look at everything, and at the end of the day, I'll trust what they do, and I'll trust what this organization, intends to do. But I just want them to absolutely look at everything, including a potential new coach, this and that, and see what makes sense for the future of this team. So, I don't know. Niner faithful, let me know your guys' thoughts of this season down below. But yeah, man, tough loss, and we're on to Chicago as a 5-7 football team. Yeah, season's over, man, and it sucks. It does. Because, again, that's why last year I couldn't stress enough that it was so important for the 49ers to win the Super Bowl, and they fell short once again. And that's kind of like the theme of this Kyle Shanahan era, falling short, injuries. It's something every year. It really is. And this year, it's injuries, it's bad coaching, and it's underperforming.